Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another episode of Unger the Radar. Actually, it's a co-production, Unger the Radar / Nostalgia Time with Kid Champagne. My co-host for the evening, a very Jurassic evening, we have Mr. Matt Habermann, aka Kid Champagne. Hey, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Hey, Randy, hey, this is Kid Champagne Matthew Habermann here. I am back, and I am excited to talk about this topic tonight of the Jurassic Park franchise and also Jurassic World Dominion.
Yes, indeed. And we also have two recurring guest critics, as always, gentlemen, Mr. Eric Godfrey. Hello, sir.
How's it going?
Good. Welcome back, I should say. And Mr. Forrest Bennett. Hello.
Hey guys, it's great to be back on both of your shows.
So this is a little different format, but still going to give the people what they want, some movie reviews, some nostalgia, a lot of nostalgia tonight. I guarantee it. And in case you haven't noticed, I am a fan of the franchise, the Jurassic Park / World franchise. And it's, I've been a fan ever since childhood, since I was about, I'd say 8 years old is when I first saw the movie, the first one, Jurassic Park. But we will get into the nostalgic part a little bit later. First, I just want to go around real quick and do weekly watches. What are we watching this week? What are we streaming? What are we watching on Blu-ray, DVD? My co-host for the evening, Matt, what are you watching in your free time these days?
Well, in my free time, I don't have as much as I have, but I have been watching the Orville. Binge watching the series and up to the new series that's on the new season that's on Hulu. I'm hoping soon, but once all episodes have been dropped, I do want to start watching Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Same here. It's on my to-do list
too.
And
Eric,
also, I would like to watch, hopefully when it drops on June 22nd, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that was a fun one for sure. Great Sam Raimi. Yeah. Eric, I know, are you in the middle of Obi-Wan right now?
Yes, I haven't watched the newest episode, but I am pretty much caught up on Obi-Wan. As the Marvel person here, I was the one approaching Miss Marvel with a little bit of skepticism due to the power change. But that first episode absolutely won me over. That might be one of the best pilots Marvel ever put out for a show.
Okay.
So I'm even with the power change, I am fully on board with Miss Marvel. Okay. And then still absolutely head over heels in love with Strange New Worlds. Some of the best Star Trek in years. I cannot get enough of this series.
That's the cartoon series, right?
No, it's the new live action with Pika on the Enterprise.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Lower Decks is the animated one.
Okay.
Now, Strange New Worlds, would you consider that your favorite of the new series that are out in recent times?
Oh, yeah, of the new series, definitely.
Nice. Cool. I got it. Yeah. That and Picard are on my to watch list as well.
Same here.
Yeah.
I was getting to Picard.
Yeah. Forrest, what do you watch? I know you're always busy at the Alamo.
Yeah, pretty much. Alamo Draft House and Nighthawk Cinema are my homes away from home. I've been going to both theaters a lot lately, just catching a lot of nostalgic favorites. A couple of the Friday the 13th sequels, the Tim Burton Batman movies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We recently saw you and me recently saw the entire Back to the Future trilogy there, which was so exciting because those are classic movies. Some of my top for me, they're all like all one movie as one movie in my top 10.
Yes.
And I had previously seen the first movie in theaters before years ago in a double feature with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. But this was my first time seeing the whole trilogy in theaters, like as a trilogy, and it was. I'm glad I could cross that off my list. Also been seeing a lot of John Carpenter movies there too lately.
Right. Yeah, Summer of Carpenter is in full swing right now.
Yep.
Screening all of the greatest hits of Carpenter, and I'll be there for some of that in the next few weeks. But sharing that experience of watching the trilogy with you, Fars, was amazing. I was so excited. I got chills when I saw Back to the Future Part 2. It's my favorite installment.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
All of it. Back to the Future 3 always gets the ending of Back to the Future Part 3 always gets me a little misty-eyed.
Right.
Also, and then it's what. Oh.
No.
And then just as far as on the television end of things, I'm currently on the latest season of Stranger Things. I'm currently on episode 3.
Okay.
I have, and then also I've been catching up on the different. I haven't watched Obi-Wan yet, but I've been catching up on the other Star Wars shows. So, the second season of Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
Okay, nice. Oh, and Back to Future Part 3. I just want to say it looks absolutely wonderful on the big screen. And that final shot of the time train going right into the camera, nothing gets better than that, really. That's pure movie magic.
Yes.
And speaking of movie magic, the Tribeca Film Festival is actually happening right now. And I had the privilege and honor of attending 4 red carpet events.
Nice.
You're gonna see some great footage in the next couple of weeks. I interviewed some really, really big names, and basically 3 of the ones that stood out: BJ Novak, Lawrence Fishburne, and the greatest moment of my life. I'm not kidding you guys.
Oh, I believe it. I know who you're going to say, but I
know you're going to say.
I interviewed Mr. Daniel Robert Elfman, and it was the greatest moment of my life so far. He was a real gentleman. I told him about a Nissan commercial campaign that he did in 1996. He had no idea what I was talking about, but I think he was flattered. But yeah, I totally geeked out, and it was amazing meeting him. It doesn't feel real, but you'll see the full interview, the red carpet, on my YouTube channel soon. But before you get to that, let's get into Jurassic World, because that's why we're here tonight, right?
Oh yeah, and the whole Jurassic Park.
And Eric, unfortunately, you did not get to see the movie. Actually, it might be fortunately, because
no, I did not get to see Dominion. But yeah, switching over from Danny Elfman to John Williams there.
And there you go. But so this is the 6th and final installment. Probably won't be the final. I anticipate many more Jurassic movies in the future. Maybe a reboot at some point. But this one basically, it follows Fallen Kingdom, where now dinosaurs and man pretty much coexist in the world. And some challenges come their way. They reintroduce the 3 main cast members, characters from the original film, which is basically fan service, but I'm not complaining. It was great seeing the 3 of them interact together. It was really fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad that they had major roles in it.
Yeah, and not just like on the side,
not like Star Wars, where they're kind of taking a back seat to the new generation.
Yeah, they were pretty prominent in this one. The visual effects were fantastic and beautiful as always. But yeah, the fact that we see the 3 original cast members, the visual effects, those are like the film's 2 only saving graces. I can't really think of anything better. Matt, can what did you think of the film?
Overall, I think, one, I can say it's better than 2 films in the franchise alone. And I'll get into those rankings later in what those 2 films are. But as much as I can say, it was definitely somewhat enjoyable. If you are a fan, let's face it, for Jurassic Park, it's a big fan base film ever since it came out in 1993, and it drew huge crowds, and we see it. So, all alone, it was going to make money no matter what it is. It was going to make money. Did was I disappointed in how the effect was? Yeah. Overall, there was no really big plot to the film. There wasn't. It was pretty much all chaotic. You didn't know what to really put through to it, and there was jumping back of storylines all jumping back together.
Yeah, the plot, it turned into sort of like a spy thriller, and it just lost me halfway through.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't know what direction it wanted to go in. And that lack of direction was really disappointing, and it made for a very inferior film.
For one, I'm going to say this too, is that I had kind of like an idea of how this film was going to go, but it completely like threw me off. Like there was some things like I thought that was, in a way, I'm just going to put it out there, like they thought there was a way to bring the dinosaurs back to one of the islands. There was to the second island, but it was a completely different story.
Yeah, just very it felt like a Born Identity type of movie in certain points, and I wanted to see more dinosaurs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not exactly the thing you associate with Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it was like total out of left field. It did not fit. It didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Forrest, what was your takeaway from? Oh, sorry.
Okay. Me personally, I mean, yeah, the spy stuff didn't work. That whole there's that whole portion of the movie that just kind of you don't know why it's there.
Yeah.
Or you had the teenage girl who well, I don't know if I should if I could say anything about her without spoiling it. But yeah. I feel like
no spoilers. I
feel like they could have done. Well, let me just say that with her and her arc, I feel like they could have done maybe just a little more. I will, but for me personally, I thought it was okay. It was an okay movie. I thought it was an okay movie. It entertained me. It kept me entertained for in a lot of parts. I was happy to see the original cast back together, along with the new cast. Although even though it kind of ends up it kind of ran to the same pit and into the same trap that Star Trek Generations fell into, where they're trying to bring the old generation, the new generation together, but it's not. But it's maybe a little underwhelming. It's a little underwhelming, but again, it's not horrible. It's, to me, I think this franchise has been in worse places before, and this is just, and for me, this is just kind of just average. I would just say it's average. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's not really breaking any new ground.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say this is average. I'd say this is more towards the bottom of the barrel, in my opinion.
Now I'm imagining like Dean Warren from Animal House. It's a little below average. It stinks.
Pretty much.
Yeah, which is also another Universal movie.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Remember, if you're Universal Studios, ask for Babs. But yeah, I think like I said, special effects are good. There's some good action. The music's great. And again, it was great seeing the original cast back. And I think well, I don't know, Chris. Oh God, not Chris
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Yes, he's the one.
Mario.
I tend to forget. No, Bob Hoskins. You said Bob Hoskins wrong. No, Chris Pratt. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan or anything, but but I do like Bryce. I am a self-confessed Bryce Dallas Howard lover.
Right. You mean Jessica Chastain? who I actually saw last night at a red carpet.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Hey,
yeah.
Who would have ever thought that Bryce Dallas Howard would be one of the best things to ever happen to Star Wars in a long time?
Right.
Like her direction on her Mandalorian episodes have always been absolute top notch.
I know. Has she done features? She should.
Not yet.
No, but I hope they hand her some, because I'm like, not to get too far off topic, she's absolutely been a fantastic director, and so
she is her father's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just take for Star Wars a minute. Jon Favreau is a genius for what he's doing with Star Wars. But,
that's another episode, man.
Yeah, that's over there. That's another universe.
Kind of a weird coincidence. Ron Howard directed Willow, which was a Lucas production, a Lucasfilm. Mm-hmm. So we'll see I think he's an executive producer on the upcoming series on Disney Plus.
Comes out on my birthday.
Oh, that's a great gift.
Yep, I am so excited for that TV show.
That's going to be a good one.
I think. Yeah. But yeah, I think overall, it's like, well, I think the movie itself was well acted. It's technically well done. It's just the script, the story was just nothing special.
Yeah, it was Yeah, something. It was just it was.
But like I said, it was. I think the franchise is. I think this is. I mean, this
run
is
of course, right?
Yeah,
as far as you can go without having to do something, either just jump forward and just completely wipe the slate clean, or start over.
I know.
Again.
I feel like the franchise has been in deeper pits. Has been in deeper tar pits before.
Oh, and we'll get to that in a few.
Closer to extinction, you say?
Oh,
yeah.
I wouldn't say
Universal will never let this franchise go extinct.
It's true. Very true. It's
well,
very true.
Universal never let their franchises even go extinct. We still remember them. We're still putting them out there.
Actually, that's not true. Actually, that's not true because they let Jaws go extinct.
Yeah. That Jaws has been dead for 35 years.
Yeah, I know.
But they still have the ride, right?
No, they don't have the ride.
No, ride's gone.
But there is a segment for that in Universal Studios Hollywood for the tour.
Okay. Well, they sort of reinvented it a bit with the Meg, that awful Jason Statham movie about that sea monster.
And then they've got all those Sharknado, and then they produce all those Sharknado movies.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. If Kong and Godzilla, they need a third one. So maybe time for Jaws to join his rightful place.
Oh God, they'll never end with those.
That's the thing. I mean, is Jurassic Park now in that part in the archives of history of Back to the Future and Jaws? In a way, yes.
Yeah.
In a way, yes.
You know, I could see it going on ice for a little bit, but I feel like it's the thing of it's like, despite the quality, it's still a moneymaker. And so I like my niece is addicted to that Camp Cretaceous show on Netflix, and I know it's apparently been very popular. And I could almost see maybe a transition, like kind of like a lot of franchises right now, maybe a transition away from the big blockbuster movies and maybe more animated series or TV shows.
Actually, there actually is a Jurassic Park cartoon series on Netflix.
That Camp Cretaceous, yeah.
And they're coming out with a Gremlins prequel series, I think on Disney Plus, if I'm not
HBO Max.
So the movies might be going away for a while, but I feel like the brand is going to still exist in numerous forms across streaming services, or the fact that also that it has such a huge presence at the parks too, like the fact that the Jurassic Park has its own segment at Universal.
Yeah,
and that's never going to die as long as
exactly. Yeah, it's never going away. And I mean, they just the Velocicoaster, which is an amazing ride, by the way, fantastic roller coaster.
So I hear. That's amazing. Yeah, and I remember going on it was sort of like a Splash Mountain type ride.
Yeah, they have the river adventure.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was back.
Yeah, and then what's nice about the Velocicoaster is it's updated. Like they have Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt doing all the filming of because the whole storyline is you're running with the Raptors. So like Pratt's brought out blue and everything, and you're hooked up and you're running with them, and it's an intense roller coaster too.
Sounds cool. Oh, did they actually film new stuff, Pratt?
So like when you're in the queue, it's like, we're gonna have this new ride for the guests at Jurassic World, and Pratt's there like, I don't think this is a good idea. And the Raptors are like, and what's even cool is because as you're going through, they have puppet raptors hooked up to those manacles, so they're banging against the cages, and you can see them struggling against the restraints.
Not too intense.
So the line for the Velocicoaster, if you like the Jurassic World stuff, all the stuff with Pratt and the Raptors, it's amazing. And like I said, the Velocicoaster itself is one of the best roller coasters at Universal.
That sounds a little intense for is there a height limit? Because that sounds intense.
Oh yeah, there is. Okay. I kid you not, there's a part for half the ride, I felt like my butt didn't even come back onto the seat. I was just like,
cool. All right. Sold.
Yeah, great ride.
Is that in Florida and California?
I don't know about California, but definitely Florida. That's where I went when we went there. And the whole Jurassic Park section is just really fun to go to. Mm-hmm. Great for Jurassic Park fans.
I have not been to Universal Orlando since I was 10. I never got to go on the Jurassic Park ride, but I did get a picture with the T-Rex in front of the van.
Oh yeah. Nice. Mm-hmm. And they also have a raptor puppet that they have for meet and greets.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, where you have to meet Blue and everything.
Yeah, that
It's
he's
been a
hanging out in the
long
forest and
time.
he's like trying to like get at you.
It's been a long time for that, but that's one thing about Jurassic Park is like, with the fans, and it's, ever since, but I mean, going back to Jurassic World, it was brought back because, we had the first three movies, and as far for what it is, The Lost World and then Jurassic Park 3. And let me just tell you, Jurassic Park 3 was.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Matt? Everybody, save that disappointment.
Bolster that.
Yeah, we're gonna do a quick commercial break, but we'll be back with our second half of the show, which will be a special nostalgic look at the Jurassic franchise right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending, interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, Rain Younger, Under the Radar. Welcome back to the show. Co-hosted with my good friend, Mr. Matthew Habermann, Kid Champagne. Welcome back.
Thank you, Randy. Kid Champagne is glad to be back.
Yes. And gentlemen, we're halfway through, and I apologize for that siren.
Are the dinosaurs loose? Is that?
Yeah, they are.
That's probably what happened.
We got an APB on Raptors to the streets of New York.
Yeah. Welcome to New York, right? So guys,
there were dinosaurs. There were dinosaurs in Brooklyn. I'm sorry, wrong dinosaur movie.
Oh well.
Actually, I was quoting Super Mario Brothers.
I got it. Okay, so yeah, 1993, one of the greatest years, a milestone in film history. We get Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park, one of the greatest action adventure sci-fi films ever made. It had revolutionary visual effects. Great practical effects too by Stan Winston. ILM, sorry, did the visual effects. Stan Winston did the practical stuff, and got a brilliant score by the great John Williams, which I
still listen to today.
Oh yeah, this movie has I can't think of anything bad to say about it because it's just so great and so much fun.
Yeah, it's probably one of Spielberg. Like it's Spielberg. It's just the list of the masterpieces he's made, but it's like, but Jurassic Park is probably top 5. It's just top 10. It is one of the most iconic movies he's ever made.
I'd say this, E.T.,
Indiana Jones, the first 3 Indiana Jones movies,
Jaws, Close Encounters,
Schindler's List.
The Color Purple is an amazing movie too. Super depressing, but very, very good.
Also, The Terminal.
The Terminal's good. Catch Me If You Can is also great too.
Hook.
Yes, Catch Me If You Can.
I would say Hook is underrated. It's an underrated gem.
Thank you.
And then the audacity of putting out one of his best movies ever, West Side Story, just last year.
Yeah.
Just like, oh no, I still can make some of the greatest movies I've ever made. Thanks, Steven.
It's phenomenal. And so this is it's 1983, same year as Schindler's List too. So
man, imagine that double feature.
Yeah, God.
Imagine going from this fun sci-fi adventure to depressing,
heavy.
Heavy,
I wonder. Heavy. He's done that before. He did that in 2005 with Munich, followed by War of the Worlds.
Big fan of Munich. Munich was great.
True.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting a lot more. Honestly, I was expecting
Yeah.
Jurassic Park with aliens, but I was disappointed.
I was gonna say it's also like I feel like Ridley Scott with last year with the Last Duel and House of Gucci trying to be like I can do that too.
I don't actually, although I would not put House of Gucci in the same league as any of those as anything Spielberg has done.
But
Or
back,
Scott for that matter.
One doesn't have Jared Leto doing his best performance in the year.
One doesn't have Jared Leto looking like a Dick Tracy villain.
Well, I could talk House of Gucci all day.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
Guys, I want to know first experience seeing Jurassic Park. Did you go to the theater as a kid to see it, Matt?
Oh yeah,
yeah. You remember it?
I remember that. I was like 7 years old when it came out, and it was amazing just seeing the T-Rex on the big screen. Well, let's just face it, Jurassic Park was meant to be seen on the big screen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I would love to go back there and see it on IMAX right now.
Next year's the 30th anniversary, so there'll probably be something.
Yeah.
Eric, do you remember your first time seeing it?
Mine is a little bit more depressing. I was not allowed to see Jurassic Park in theaters.
Oh.
So my brother loved the book and he was so excited for the movie. So he got to go and then my dad took him. And then it was like, Eric, you can't go. The raptors will scare you. And to be fair, they were probably right. So I had to wait and see it much, much later. I wanted to see it in theaters because my big brother did.
Oh, man.
But no, Eric, you're too young. It'll scare you. So, and when I finally saw it, I'm like, these raptors are scary. You're probably right.
The raptors were the main villain. I'm sorry that everyone thinks that Tyrannosaurus Rex was. No.
The first time you saw probably the scene that made everybody is when she's booting up the power generator and and Samuel L. Jackson's hand falls on her.
Oh, Mr.
Like that's
Arnold.
probably just the erupting out of my seat.
Yeah.
The fear running through me.
When you're 7, 8 years old, Forrest, you're a little younger, but
I was 5 when it came out.
When you see Samuel L. Jackson's detached arm, it's freaky as hell. And it's not meant. I don't think it's. I mean, it's sort of meant for children. Like it's that kiddie violence that Spielberg is so good at.
Yeah.
He kind of originated with Poltergeist and Gremlins.
And actually, I would say more. I would say even you go further back to Indiana Jones. Is that what we had plenty of
the Nazis at the end?
All the face melting and
true. Well, Jaws and Raiders were before the PG-13 was established. So there was this. I think there's a shot in Raiders where a guy gets shot in the head, and you see the blood
or Alfred Molina gets impaled on all those spikes.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was off screen, but you see the aftermath.
Yeah. So Spielberg kind of refined it a bit by the time Jurassic Park rolled around.
Yeah.
And that violence was not as gratuitous, which is good. But I was freaked out. I remember seeing it in theaters. I went to a theater in Manhattan. I forget which one. Not even sure if it's even there anymore. My parents. And the raptor scene in the basement. That's the scene that got me. That really freaked me out.
The raptor in the kitchen scene was scary too.
Oh, that's one of the most iconic like the way that uses the reflections and the sound.
Yeah, beautifully done.
Everything with the Velociraptors was perfect.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Matt. They were the true villain of the story. Because later on the T-Rex ends up saving them. By those two T-Rexes. It's a great scene, by the way. And again, Williams' score shines through in that moment. It's very heroic. He's got the two themes. He's got the more the quieter theme, gentler theme where they're kind of like reflecting on things right before the end credits. And then you've got the heroic theme when the T-Rex rescues them and
he becomes that hero.
Yeah.
And you see
she all females.
That's true.
Forrest,
what a cast of iconic characters too.
Yeah.
From Malcolm to Alan to it's like even the kids, as
Hammond,
screaming annoying as they were worked perfectly in the line. Like the fact that even it's like, I'm going to put these annoying kids here because it's all about Alan's journey to fatherhood.
And then Wayne Knight as Dennis Nedry was so popular that he spawned memes.
You didn't see the magic word.
I mean, Malcolm alone was just golden line after golden line.
Hilarious.
Like Goldblum he was the MVP in a host of great characters.
I mean, for me, Ian Malcolm for me is probably Jeff Goldblum's like most iconic role after Seth Brundle in The Fly.
Right. I mean, there's a reason why how many years divorced that you can make after this. That's like, we're bringing the old crew back finally, and everyone's like, yes, because it's like that's how loved these characters are.
Yeah. And that's really like, I'm going back to Dominion. That is the best part of Dominion. The three of them back together again. It's like their interaction, their chemistry between the three of them was so perfect. It's like no time had passed. So it was really nice. Back to Dennis Nedry. I think, him with the Velociraptors, those were the two villains.
I'll also put it this way. This would also be a scary scene in Jurassic Park. The Dilophosaurus, like just coming in there, and it's in the film, like just ready to spit at you. And then, let's face it, we can spoil Jurassic Park because I think
it's just like, but think about what we're doing here. Like we are just perfectly recreating the entire movie from memory because that's how iconic it is. Like just saying the raptors, the kitchen scene, the Dilophosaurus, even both T-Rex chases, the great first scene with the stand still and eating the lawyer off the toilet. It's just like it's all vivid. It's all still fresh after all these years because it's just that type of movie. It's that perfect.
I think that was Gennaro.
It's brilliant storytelling, and Spielberg, he certainly knows how to paint a picture. And Eric, I agree with you. It's in our memory base. This whole movie we could recite it by memory.
And talk about merchandising. Even today, you can still say to people, Mr. DNA, and people will be like, yep, I know Mr. DNA. Just
Yeah, for me,
you want to talk about the merchandising. That was one of the best video games I've ever played.
This is the only piece of Jurassic Park merchandise I own. That I own growing up. That I owned. Probably one of the few good movie to game adaptations on the Sega Genesis. You can play as either Alan Grant or as a raptor,
which was always
specifically the Sega one because the Super Nintendo was much different.
Because I think because they were different developers. Because Sega Genesis,
because the Super Nintendo was a top-down shooter where you were Alan, and then that one was a side scroller where you were Alan or the Raptor.
Huh. Okay.
But I usually chose the Raptor because I'd play as Grant and would just end up getting gored by Triceratops.
Yeah.
So now in terms of merchandise, I was obsessed with the toy line, the action figures.
Oh, the toy line was the best.
I had the green and red vehicle that they drive. The van to the T-Rex paddock. I had Alan Grant. I had Malcolm, who was in the second wave of the line. I even had the compound play set, which was fantastic.
Alan Grant, I gotta correct you on that. Alan Grant was in the first wave. It was Ian Malcolm that was in the second.
Yeah,
I did find it odd though that out of all the human characters, they gave that Lex, Ariana Rich's character, did not get a figure, whereas her brother Tim got one.
Right.
Well, that was supposed to be in the third wave. Lex Murphy, they did have that, and that was actually that was actually done the European line. They did a Lex Murphy action figure. It was a very rare line.
Oh wow!
There were some other action figures for that, but if you got that with Lex and the others from that European line, you're sitting on a gold mine.
I also had Robert Muldoon, great figure, and some of the dinosaurs, obviously. Yeah,
that's funny though. The Dennis Nedry figure looked nothing like Wayne Knight.
I know none of the Kenner ones really did.
Actually, no, that's not true. I mean, I would say Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler looked like Sam Neill and Laura Dern.
Malcolm looked really similar to
Tim Murphy was like just a little tall. He was taller than that little kid. But they never made a John Hammond. They never made a.
I mean, who wants to play with a short, fat old man? I mean,
Complaining about his park not working right.
Yeah.
Did any? I also, if anyone had like the compound playset and had the Jurassic Park gates, that was a good playset.
That was one of Kenner's best playsets. It had electronic sounds. It looked like it did in the movie.
They didn't recycle it from a previous toy line.
Yeah. Actually, I would use it as a Hall of Justice for my Total Justice action figures. I'm really geeking out now about Kenner. Kenner was my life as a kid. Still kind of here, but yeah. Eric, did you have many of the toys?
Not a lot of the toys. My brother was the bigger one when it came to the Jurassic Park stuff, because like I said, I was kind of kept away from it. He was a huge fan of the book. He loved the original Crichton book. And he didn't collect he collected a lot of the toys, but he was in his dinosaur phase. So he just wanted the dinosaurs. He didn't want the people.
Okay.
And especially the raptors. He loved the Velociraptors after that. Like that was all he wanted, essentially.
Now I remember this is that in the toy lines for all of this, like there was like some figures that were or toys that were just hard to get. One of them was the adult T-Rex. You can always find the young T-Rex, but the giant T-Rex was just I remember this with my cousin because we were all in Jurassic Park, just the action figures. We were trying to look for the giant T-Rex, but all they had was the young T-Rex.
Right. You know what? I actually had the young T-Rex figure, and as a kid, I didn't really know the difference. I didn't even know there was a larger figure until 3 years later. The Lost World Jurassic Park came out, and then I got the actual adult size. And it wasn't brown this time; it was green. And I had the like trailer playset, which was also an amazing playset / vehicle. Mm-hmm. But I think this is a good moment to get into the Lost World a little bit.
Actually, I should, by the way, because I should mention that. So I did not see the original Jurassic Park when it was in theaters.
Oh, you didn't?
Sorry. I was 5 years old when it came out, so a little young. I didn't see. So I caught it a few years later when it came out on video, and really enjoyed it. Actually, I only got around to watching it on the big screen just last week in a double feature with Dominion, because AMC Theaters was doing double features. So I'm like, so actually, I'll admit, I was actually looking more forward to seeing Jurassic Park finally seeing Jurassic Park in a theater than I was about Dominion.
And rightfully so.
Yeah,
so
it looks great. And still, and 29 years later, it still looks great on the big. It looks 29 years later, it looks great on the big screen.
And you know what? Before we get into the sequels, you mentioned the VHS, Forrest. I also had the VHS. I had it twice because the first one, I think I watched it so many times, it kind of just wore out. And that was that and Hook, both Spielberg gems. I looked forward to owning both of those movies.
Yeah.
I needed this so
both
much.
Spielberg gems with some kick-ass toy lines.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Total nostalgia right there. Early 90s for me. So.
Oh man, Hook.
Yeah.
I'm just going down the Spielberg journey right now.
This is it. Welcome.
Yep.
But yeah, so 3 years later, after the enormous success of Jurassic Park, Spielberg, he returns to this world, and it's a little darker this time. I think it's just, I don't know, it's just a little more violent, a little more action packed this time.
Yeah.
And,
but that's all Jurassic Park, and it's like everyone just wants dinosaurs attacks. That's all that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also the cinematographer changed for the second movie. It is now Janusz Kaminski, who would work with Spielberg on many other projects, most notably like Saving Private Ryan. So kind of like this gray, washed out look, and it serves the Lost World very, very well. It's a beautiful film, and of course we got great visual effects by ILM and Stan Winston, of course, and it's just it's a strong action thriller, as opposed to more of a lighthearted adventure fantasy film like the first one was. So, Matt, what did you think of The Lost World Jurassic Park?
I mean, I thought, I mean, as far as it wasn't like the greatest from the first film,
Right.
but I think Jeff Goldblum was the star of the film on that one, and it was overall, I mean, was okay. Not one of overall wasn't going to top, but I think that it was a good sequel to it. I loved how they used for like Site B. And I'm going to put this out there, 2015, I went to where the filming locations were for Jurassic Park films, for Jurassic Park and The Lost World. They filmed them in Hawaii. So it was where, where they see Dr. Alan Grant, and they had the log where it was, and also where the waterfall, but also when they were touring around in the jungle for The Lost World and Site B, that's where it was.
Right. That's all. When you were there, did it feel like you were in the movie?
It did feel, the waterfall part felt like I was in the movie with the helicopter.
That's awesome. Do you remember where exactly in Hawaii?
On the island of Oahu.
Nice. Eric, thoughts on The Lost World?
It's fine. It's definitely, we're reciting the best of Spielberg. It's not that, but it's the thing, if it's like even not that good Spielberg is still better than most. And I think it's a movie where the ideas are a lot better than the actual. And so I know, like, probably everyone always remembers gymnast kills Velociraptor, but I feel like there's still a lot of like, even as much as I'm not the biggest fan of it, there's still great scenes and great lines in that. Like, I always think of when they're escaping into the field of the grass and you see the raptors just like hunting them through it. It's a great scene. And like, also you probably have the best line of the franchise with the, oh yeah, they're cute now. And then there's the running and screaming. But overall, I think Lost World is okay.
Yeah.
I think it's too many ideas packed into one movie. The fact that you have to go to Site B, but then there's the poachers, but then the T-Rex is now in LA, and it's like it's the movie that really needed to get things cut down to be more like Jurassic Park 1, just boom, vision, right, beginning to end, everything. And Lost World, it just felt like it was just the kitchen sink. We're going to do everything we could do. How about 2 T-Rexes and a baby, and how about
they should have taken some of those ideas out of Lost World and saved them for the third one, kind of like balance it a little bit.
Would have made the third movie a lot better.
Because now I want to talk about the third movie being such
And I was gonna say, Forrest, what did you think of Lost World?
Oh, sorry, Forrest, go. Lost World, your thoughts.
Lost World, I would have to agree. It's definitely less of a whimsical adventure, more of a definitely a much more darker, more action oriented movie. Again, I think this is, for me, that's more. It's like as time goes on and more sequels come out, I feel like it's more of a middle of the pack entry.
Yeah.
Not the best, not the worst. It's again, it's entertaining. But yeah, it's just too much going on. I think there's just too much going on with that one.
Yeah. There's some really strong elements, like the compies are really frightening if you think about it. And there's a scene where Peter Stormare, who plays one of the mercenaries, he gets like lost in the middle of the jungle, and like 100 compies basically rip him to shreds.
Yeah, but he had that one coming.
The smallest dinosaurs can be deadly.
Yeah.
He found out. He tased him and he found out.
He did. And the whole T-Rex in San Diego scene, I mean, it was okay. It was just so like they tacked that on, and it basically felt like Godzilla, which was
it was like
a year later.
Exactly. It was less of this, they're kind of, where it's like, whereas the first two movies, first movie and a half, they're on this, they're on these islands in Central America, and then all of a sudden they're like, it just turns into just like another like kaiju flick.
Yeah, just unnecessary. They could have developed the story a little bit better.
Still better movie than Godzilla the following summer.
Right, which handled that type of material a lot better, I think. But yeah, Goldblum, he saves the movie. And we've got John Williams back for a very dark score. It's not as heroic as the first, but you know, it still works. So you know, we're gonna get into our ranking of all the movies in just a minute. But okay, so that's The Lost World. We don't have much to say about Jurassic Park 3, right, guys?
Oh no! Oh
No,
God! I'm gonna put this out there.
It happened.
Well, I will say, how do you take the with the cast and the director it had?
But
How it's like, and how it's like, how did this get so? How did it get so underwhelming?
you've got Joe Johnson at the helm.
Yeah.
The Rocketeer, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Jumanji. This is a really accomplished adventure film
director. Yeah.
And when I saw his name attached, I was about what 14, 15 when it came out. I was excited because like, okay, we're gonna get another
Alan Grant's back.
Yeah, Alan Grant's back, along with William H. Macy and Taylor Leone, who were
a real, and Michael Jeter in a weird role that he gets killed. You guys, he's the bald-headed mercenary.
Right.
Yeah, they get killed like right off the bat.
Yeah, it's got a very good supporting cast. It's got Sam Neill. Sam Neill's pretty much the only good thing about this movie. And
he's the only good thing about that movie, and everything else was just terrible. I am sorry, I'm going to be putting this out there, but that is on the bottom of my list. Even
Mine
with
too.
everything other movie, I think it's on everyone's the bottom of the list.
Yeah, it's just
I
so
know it has its
forgettable.
defenders, but I think I need to go back and revisit it to see if it's, because I don't remember having fond memories of it.
It's very, to me, it's just, again, I just thought it was very rushed and forgettable.
Yeah. And it's only an hour and a half, which pretty much
it's very short.
All of them are pretty much over 2 hours except for this one. It's kind of weird. But Eric, I was in the same boat as you. Like I hadn't seen it since it first came out 30 years ago. It's on HBO. I checked it on HBO Max. And it was just a lot worse than I remember it.
Was it?
Yeah. So that's Jurassic Park 3. See it if you're a Sam Neill completist. Other than that, I would say skip it. Actually, you know what? I amend that. There is a pretty good scene involving pterodactyls, but
that's probably the best part of the movie.
That's probably the best part. But other than that, seeing that movie, I'm gonna quote that movie. It's a very bad idea.
And also the weird raptor dream, the Alan.
Wake up, Alan. But you know, back to the pterodactyls. I think they wanted to do that for the first Jurassic Park, but they didn't have money or time to do it.
It would not surprise me if Jurassic Park 3 was literally just, here's all the scrapped ideas from Jurassic Parks 1 and 2. Let's see if we can make a movie out of it.
Right. It's just disappointing. Very sad. All right, so that was Jurassic Park 3. That came out in 2001. Now we had a bit of a hiatus. So the
14-year hiatus.
The next Jurassic film came out in 2015. So 14 years. It's quite a gap, actually. And the best that they can come up with is basically a rehash of the first film.
Except now it's a fully functional park.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what if Jurassic Park worked?
Yeah. Well, actually, I feel like I mean, to me, I found it more enjoyable than Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, but I think.
Oh yeah.
But I felt at the same, it felt like a breath of fresh air. I mean, but I sort of feel like there was a missed opportunity there because I felt like this could have been a good satire of like corporate culture and like theme park culture.
It's what they wanted to do, and that's why it's like Jurassic Park or Jurassic World works again on the idea level. Yeah. It's just the execution where it's
it's like we want to do something new, but at the same time, it's like we kind of want to do. They kind of want to. It's like there's that built-in expectation of like, oh, we gotta have the dinosaurs run amok again.
Right.
You know what? I did like Jake Johnson in this. Who's
as the Jurassic Park fanboy.
Yes.
Kind of like a nerdy fanboy, kind of like us, basically. And I really respected his character. He was one of the film's strongest points, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. That, of course, the visual effects are fantastic yet again from ILM. The park looked wonderful. I love
I love the fact that they went back to Isla Nublar.
Yeah.
That was one thing. Also in it, they brought back Dr. Henry Wu.
Right, B.D. Wong.
BD Wong.
So that was a nice connector to the original films. And I love the gyro. It was the gyros. What was it called?
The gyrospheres, I think.
Yes.
And they also give
cool
a little cameo to Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that joke worked so well.
Which they're probably obligated to, they were probably obligated or just doing cross promotional stuff since, they're all under this, NBC and Universal are all under the same conglomerate. So,
I mean, they are, but the way they film it's like, yeah, that's correct. That's how that would look if that was actually a ride. Like, kudos to them for doing a very accurate Jimmy Fallon Jurassic Park ride thing.
All right, guys. So we are actually we're running about a time a bit here. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to go over Fallen Kingdom just really quickly. Yeah,
it's a movie.
Nothing special. Again,
I know Matt and I we rewatched this one to prepare ourselves for Dominion, and this one does not hold up too well. It's kind of like Dominion in that respect, that like it has all these ideas. The plot doesn't flow, and it was just odd. It's just a weird.
Here's the thing, and I'll put it this way because I know there's not going to be that much movies on it, but have they not in Fallen Kingdom kill off Isla Nublar? Maybe there'd be hope for another movie. Maybe there'd be hope for another movie. That's my only thing about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I just like the stuff of Isla Nublar. Other than that, I could have cared less.
Yeah, it was just strange. And the only thing I sort of liked was they had the Dominus Rex and the auction in the mansion. It was weird the way they did that, but I enjoyed it. And out of everything else in that movie, that was the only memorable thing. And it was just, it was like Dominion in the respect that it was kind of too many ideas floating around. They didn't really have a direction. And it was just disappointing. But okay, guys, I just want to go over our rankings of the Jurassic films. Of all 6 films, Eric, for you, it'll be 5 since you didn't see Dominion. Yeah. So yeah, let's start with you, Eric. What all 5 films?
Jurassic Park, no question.
Yeah,
top dog. I'd say probably then in that order, I'd probably go Lost World. I'd probably go Jurassic World, and I'd probably go Jurassic Park 3, Fallen Kingdom, and probably Dominion in there somewhere. But I think that's kind of where I'm feeling. That's where I'm filling my list at.
Nice, I like it. My list is pretty similar to that. Forrest, your ranking?
Okay, so I think for me, also I have to agree. Original best is the best. Nothing can touch it. Worst would be Jurassic Park 3. Again, very rushed, nothing, and forgettable. And then I don't know. I'll admit the rest of them, and then Fallen Kingdom would be like for me second to worst.
Right.
Because just very directionless. And then, but then for me, I would say Jurassic. Actually, I'd probably put maybe Jurassic World second, even though. Because the first half I think was pretty solid, but again, there were some missed opportunities. And then Dominion and Lost World are probably somewhere for me they're kind of interchangeable as far as being like dead middle of the franchise. Like, not to me they're just very average. To me they're just very average. Nothing, they're well made, but to me nothing special.
Yeah. All right, that's a good ranking. Okay. And my co-host of the evening, what is your ranking of the film, sir?
For my ranking of the films, of course, of top, it's Jurassic Park, no doubt about it. And then in second would be The Lost World. I'm going to go those number 1 and number 2. But then I would put Jurassic World number 3 because I felt it was a great story in the top, and I loved it when they went back to Nublar. And then I would have to put under that Jurassic World Dominion, just because of how the story is and the originals were back. And then under it, Fallen Kingdom. And definitely at the worst of it is Jurassic Park 3. I don't think there is any way that it can climb up to make its notoriety for Jurassic Park 3. I'm sorry, but there's no notoriety that Jurassic Park 3 would ever move its way up.
Jurassic Park 3 is like, you squeeze all the juice out of the first couple movies, and the byproduct is Jurassic Park 3. And I'm sorry, Mr. Joe Johnson, you are a fantastic filmmaker, but this is probably your weakest effort.
And it's what put the franchise in the tar pits for about 14 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or send it to the ice, or say maybe send it to the ice age. Pardon all the extinction puns.
Yes, of course. Matt, I think my ranking is pretty much the same as yours. You can't go wrong with the original as number 1. Lost World, phenomenal number 2. Great follow-up. It just continued the adventure. I guess Jurassic World, because it does hold up. It's an exciting film, and it kind of brings a new generation of audiences. So I respect that about that. Sort of like a reboot in a way. And now it'd be followed by Dominion, simply because I love seeing the 3 cast members interact. That was really fun. And then, I don't know, I think maybe Fallen Kingdom, then Jurassic Park 3, or they might be.
I would go with that, because there's nothing else that can.
Or they might be kind of equal I don't know.
I agree. They're both of them are very directionless. There's nothing particularly memorable about them.
Dead last. I'm sorry.
Right. I think we're all in agreement. Jurassic Park 3 is the worst. Oh well.
But there's also, I'm going to be putting this out there. We've all been fans for Jurassic Park. We've been doing the collectibles. Funko has some great stuff. Mm-hmm. Going back to Universal Studios. If you go to Universal Studios Hollywood right now, you do get Jurassic World the ride, which is pretty much the same thing as Jurassic Park, just under the new banner.
Nice.
In Universal's Islands of Adventure, you get the Jurassic Park River Adventure, which is Jurassic Park the ride. Yep. I know what when they're opening the new Epic Universe, they are I think they're going to be putting a Jurassic World section where we're going to get the Jurassic World the ride and maybe more.
Nice. It's exciting.
And there's always going to be ways for them to market the franchise. Even Universal still marketing Back to the Future.
All right, guys. So we are out of time, but I just want to really quickly do some coming attractions for this week. We've got the new biopic Elvis, starring Austin Butler as the King of Rock and Roll. Also, Tom Hanks is in it in a supporting role. It's written and directed by Baz Luhrmann. There's also some other writers on there too. So it should be a very extravagant production. And Hanks, they made him look very fat and very homely. Mm-hmm. So it should be an interesting film. We also have a horror film starring Ethan Hawke called The Black Phone. And we have a movie that I have been excited for months now because it looks so damn adorable. It's called Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
Oh yes,
and it's a quirky comedy about a shell that wants to find his family.
Love the shorts.
Yeah, it's so adorable, so cute.
I'm looking forward to that one.
And A24 is distributing it, and fantastic company. I don't think they've ever distributed anything that's been subpar. Always great content from them. We also have a drama called Olga. It's about a 15-year-old Ukrainian gymnast. So that should be kind of timely, actually. So that's a sport drama, Olga. So, okay, guys, I just want to go around real quick. Any plugs? Anything going on? Mr. Godfrey, sir.
Nothing for me, but the wife working at the lodge, the Law of Donut Engineering on the weekends. So if you want great donuts, check them out.
Perfect. Mr. Bennett, plugs, sir.
Plugs. Okay. Well, first of all, this week is my 10th anniversary of my moving to New York. Prior to that, I've lived in Syracuse, Philadelphia, and Salt Lake City. And then I came here about 10 years ago. So this place was, this city's always, this place has always been like a second home to me growing up because I visited here because of family, and I but and I've got, and in the last 10 years I've made it my permanent. I'm happy to made it my permanent home. So there's that, and then I'm also currently working on this acting in this crime movie that's directed by Diego Santos, whom we worked with on Bring On the Damned.
Okay.
That was a fun shoot. I might have a few more scenes. I might have a few more scenes filmed. And then I'm going and then I'm going on a little trip to Canada. Canada.
Awesome.
Tomorrow.
Busy man. Yep.
Sounds fun.
Have a good trip, sir.
Will do.
And my co-host for the evening, Mr. Matt Habermann, Kid Champagne. Any plugs for you, sir?
Yes, Kid Champagne is ready to come back on the air with some new ideas in the summer. In July, we are going to introduce the Nostalgia Time Watch Party series. We are going to have a watch party with a couple of films. First off, we're going back with Camp Nostalgia for Heavyweights. And we're going to do, because it's the 30th anniversary, we're going to do a screening of Ernest Goes to Camp. and as well, hopefully we can do a watch party of Aliens.
My favorite movie of all time.
Yes, classic film. We actually did a commentary for that.
We did a commentary, and you're on here. Plus you and me met the cast at WinterCon a few months ago.
Yes, and we watched the movie just for fun.
At Nighthawk, yeah.
No,
and also, I would love to do a nice retrospective of Beavis and Butthead.
Yes, that new movie's coming out later this month.
Right.
True. I forgot about that.
We should
also you've got the 25th anniversary of Good Burger coming up too.
Perfect. Okay, and as for me, guys, if you want to catch older episodes of Under the Radar, just subscribe to the YouTube channel and share, spread the love. Also, if you want to see all new episodes of Under the Radar, just tune in to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network Lifestyle channel every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And you can check that out on cable TV channels as well. FiOS 34, RCN 83, and Spectrum 56 and 1996. And I just want to give everyone a little sneak peek. So we're going to have some Tribeca Film Festival. Well, they call it Tribeca Festival now because it encompasses more than just film.
Television.
So we will have, you'll see some red carpet footage of mine from the past week, some very exciting celebrity interviews. That'll be on the YouTube channel as well. I will share that on social media, so you'll be up to date with that stuff. All right, guys. Well, I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care, guys.